Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. Um, ah, I don't know, I guess considering how big of a day Thursday was for me, it's kind of, I actually kind of needed a night to myself. But, that's not entirely true. I mean, part of my high is I did get to hang out with my mom for a little bit. But my low for sure was, okay. I had no idea that karaoke at Legends was only the first Friday of every month. So, yeah, no karaoke for me. I mean, I guess it is kind of a sign. As much as I really do want to do it again, I shouldn't just rush into things, right away. So, yeah, I'm a bit bummed I didn't do any karaoke, but I'm okay with it. I'll deal. Although another part of my high is, there was a place up at Cuco Lake I finally got to do a real good post about it. I'll get to that in a minute. And my act of kindness was, I actually did a whole bunch of things. I chauffeured my grandma, I got her some groceries, did some stuff for my mom too. I did quite a few things. But, yeah. Although, last night, here's my thing. Last night I go to illegal for a little bit, right? And seriously, my boy actually gave me some really great news that I needed to hear. And let's just say now I'm feeling more confident than ever regarding something I want to do. Man, I gotta tell you, this whole week has really been like just a big sort of, I think this is the first week of this whole year where I've started thinking about, okay, 2023, we're kind of getting to the back end here. We'll technically be on the back end for a while, but now it's really starting to show a little bit because of the weather, a little bit because Dunkin' Donuts brought their pumpkin spice back. I got my pumpkin spice the other day. I was so happy. My inner white girl was pleased. So that happened. I mean, we're in the month of August, and I've shared this before, but growing up, I used to hate this month. Hate the month of August. For the simple fact that school was right around the corner. I didn't want to go back to school. I mean, little did I know that some parts of the country have already started school. But, I'm a dumb little kid. No one tells me anything. I don't know that. So, if you already have started school, I hope things are going well for you. I don't think a little kid is going to be watching this, but provide maybe their parents are or something. Like, if you have a little kid who's in school right now, or I guess if you are in school, actually college kids are probably in school right now, give or take a week or two. I know some students would probably be arriving there about now. So, sure, let's go with that. Hope your school year is going well so far. I usually have to wait until early September before I do my, back to school address, because that's pretty much what I've been doing the last couple of years now. But, on top of everything that I just described, what really does feel as if this was the first week where this was the first week of this whole year so far, where I am already thinking over my plans for 2024 in terms of the things I'm going to do, movies I'm going to watch, places I'm going to go to. There's a lot to think. It's a lot to sink in. Let's just say that. For starters, apparently in just over a year from now, for the first time since 2018, I'm actually going back to Colorado. And look, I know I've shared this before, but for those of you who don't know, my entire life I've kind of struggled with, body positivity issues. And in terms of my actual overall weight, trust me, I've been all over the place. But it was around 2018, around the time I started making videos, where, normally when you think of like the worst case scenario regarding a person's weight, your first thought would probably be, the fact that we live in an obesity epidemic in our country. But for me, it was the opposite. I, like it or not, I needed to get some help. And trust me, I did not like it at all. In fact, to this day, I'm still a little pissed off by it. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But, I went to Denver to get some help. And, the people I met regarding the patients, I met some wonderful people. The actual people running the thing, not so much. My mom said I was going to be there for around 3 weeks. I was actually there for almost 3 months. In fact, literally from day 200 to day 283, and all the videos I've ever done, that was me in Denver. And trust me, I did not like being there at all. Not necessarily the easiest thing for me to talk about. Honestly, there's two things about that time in my life that bothered me the most. And the first was that they kept me for a month longer than they really needed to, which was so stupid. I really could have come home at the end of August, but they wanted me to come, but I wound up going home early October. So, honestly, what's keeping me from, yelling a certain 4-letter word that begins with the letter F is, I'm trying my best not. Listen, I already screwed up not doing it for a whole year on day 2001. So the whole attempt of me trying to do it not in a year, I already messed that up. I don't want to make it any worse. Basically, I'm trying not to make it worse than it already is. But here's the other thing that really bothers me. Listen, straight up, what you were allowed to do at this facility I was at was largely dependent on how much food you actually ate. Right? I know somebody like me would try, seriously, if you look at my early videos, you can tell right away. So naturally, I didn't have any problems in terms of, bad behavior and stuff like that. So because of that, I got to go on, field trips. Just like any sort of, program like that, if you're good, you get to go on, get better privileges, and you get to go on field trips and stuff. So long story short, I actually got to go to Red Rocks. Yes, the Red Rocks, the major music entertainment venue located in the mountains. It's built right in the mountains, and it really is a beautiful place. But for those of you who don't know, how do I describe this? If I have to do stupid shit, or if I'm even at a great place for a stupid reason, I'm not going to enjoy it. And considering the reason why I was even in Colorado at all then, I couldn't enjoy being at Red Rocks. In spite of the fact that it's freaking Red Rocks. And the other day I got a text from my family saying, we're going to be going back to Colorado to scatter my late grandmother's ashes, because she lived in Colorado for a long time. And basically it's going to be like from the 25th of next year, from August 25th to August 28th next year, that's when I'll be going to Colorado. Personally, I want to go a couple days early so I can at least go back to Red Rocks on my own terms. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's what I would like to do anyway. I mean, listen, we've all been there. You know, there's stuff that, you know, you can't really enjoy because you know there's something stupid that you don't like that you have to do. And getting myself back together, if you want to call it that, was something that I had to do. I mean, don't misunderstand me. Like, to this day, I'm still mad at my family over it. And believe me, no one's more keenly aware of that than my own mother and father, considering the ramifications it led to down the road. I mean, shortly after, full disclosure, literally day 399, it was the day of the Super Bowl. The day before I did my very first State of My Being address, I got in a huge argument with my brother over, you know, all the crap that happened to me over the years. That in a lot of ways led to me going to Denver in the first place. And, I mean, listen, my brother really has weak constitutions. So he was already uncomfortable being around me as it was. And believe me, listen, I don't care if it, here's the thing. It's kind of, this is exactly the kind of person that I really am. Because if I'm mad, I don't let go. And believe me, it was cathartic to finally tell off my brother about a whole lot of shit that happened over the years. Including the fact that I thought his wedding was absolutely terrible. Although, as long as I am on camera, I would like to say one thing right now. The union between my brother and his wife was the most beautiful thing that whole day. It was everything else about the wedding that sucked. So, one point. I mean, it's probably, see, if I said his wedding sucks, it's going to come across that I didn't approve of my brother getting married. Of course I approve of my brother getting married. You know, I love my sister. I got a sister-in-law, dude. Are you kidding me? Why would I be mad about that? It was everything else about the wedding that sucked. So, you know, just to throw that out there. Needless to say, after the argument, for literally up until about a month before my twin nephews were born, he didn't want to be around me. I mean, frankly, at the time, I didn't really care because, you know, partly because my brother, whether he wanted to hear it or not, needed to hear it from me. Hey, listen, what I did was cruel, but at least it was honest. And I still stand by what I said on that day. I like to think I'm a man of conviction, so, you know, you gotta stand by what you say. So, needless to say, going to Denver back in 2018, whether you want to believe it saved my life or not, it messed everything up. My relationship with my family is more strained than ever. You know, I have a lot of bad memories associated with the state of Colorado and going to Red Rocks for that matter. And on top of all that, you took a problem regarding the fact I'm not the most comfortable with my body, and you made that problem much worse. So, yeah. For that reason alone, it's been a rough couple of years. I hadn't even talked about yet that was the one thing my grandfather said he was disappointed in me before he died. Well, really that and what happened shortly after, but yeah, I'm 100% positive that was why he said he was disappointed in me. is that I had to go at all. Listen, I love my late grandfather, and I really have been trying to do what I can to honor his memory. But the fact that he said he was disappointed in me on my 30th birthday, no less, right, literally 3 weeks and 3 days before he died. Literally one of the last things he ever said to me before he died. It is forever going to leave a bitter taste in my mouth. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I shouldn't say forever, but it's definitely a bitter taste in my mouth that's still there. I mean, does it feel silly that I want to go to Red Rocks on my own terms just to get some kind of closure? Maybe a little bit. But I need some kind of satisfaction to make going back to Colorado worthwhile. Because other than seeing my family, I'm not really coming up with much of a reason why I should be happy that I'm going back to Colorado. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Here's how silly it all is for me. Because, for those of you who don't know, my grandfather had died of cancer. He didn't have cancer before I left for Colorado. And then it was while I was in Colorado, that's when he got it. If you ask me, just me saying, I don't go to Colorado, my grandfather's still alive, possibly. I mean, here's the thing, my grandfather would be, if he was still alive, my grandfather would be turning 89 this year. So, it would still be a little bit up in the air as to whether or not he'd still be here. But I can tell you right now, he probably wouldn't have died from cancer. He probably, well, because he wouldn't get cancer. He wouldn't get cancer. I mean, he could still die. I mean, anyone can die from anything nowadays, so what would I know? But yeah, full disclosure, next year I'm going to Colorado again. Just to gather my grandma's ashes. Although, considering that, and I literally talked about how yesterday, the celebration of life I went to for Freeman Smith really put things into perspective for me. Going back to Red Rocks on my own terms, that would make me feel better. But I can think of one thing I can do along the way to make it truly spectacular. Of course, that involves something important that I have to do. But I'll get to that later. I hope you all like this video. If you did, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble to make this video for all of you guys watching Joe today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, channel will be here to lend me, always back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.